is this here that you're going to connect. So that's TMAE, okay, which Samed and I packed. Okay, so you can see it's connected by this connector here. Okay. It's been washed, it's all ready to go. So at the end of this, what we do is we go through a routine of washing.
That ironically I had recorded.
That and
that.
This, and with water, which is there. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is what you have now got to do over here with this column to clean it.
Yeah.
So let's put those
Salt
over there.
base water.
Pardon?
Salt base water.
No. No. So sodium hydroxide cleans, and certainly with these columns, when it's at that very high pH, it knocks everything off. Then you wash with water to get the sodium hydroxide away, and then the sodium chloride, 1 molar, with azide, so there's no microbial growth can take place in the column.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So first things first. This is a water reservoir, which is rinsing the back here, and particularly for 8 molar urea, this is really important that we've got the pump is being washed at the back, the pistons, so that the urea doesn't crystallize and damage the seals and things like that. So we'll have to top that up with some deionized water when we're done. Okay, so this is the connection part. So I pump through here with water. What I always do is leave this in water. When I've finished, I've done the cleaning of the column, the regeneration, I take the column off and away we go, okay? So that's the connection. Now, I'm not going to connect that straight away to the column first, because there's likely to be air in the system. It's, you know, this is where the drain is, it could be below the level, etc, etc. So initially we're just going to pump water. So put on this. This is a mixer that needs to be on. So it gets pumped through here up into the mixer, from the mixer into the injection valve, and then from the injection valve into the pump. So pump we switch on here, and then manual set. 1 mil, enter. Notice the maximum pressure is 70 bar now, and that's a 70 because these columns can take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday was 20.
But this one cannot.
Yeah, was
These
13.
size extrusion columns is 20.
Yeah.
Escape takes us back to the manual page. So you can see that its buffer C is 100% here. To change to another buffer, you just hit one of these keys. Okay? And all the lines are all in that water, so it makes no difference. Okay. For you and for us, we need to program so that we've got buffer A will be perhaps sodium hydroxide, buffer B will be water, buffer C will be the sodium chloride.
Yeah.
In your case, buffer A is the 8 molar urea without salt. Buffer B is 8 molar urea plus 1 molar salt.
Yeah.
And we have different programs in here, which I'll show you about in a bit. Okay, so
consistent.
You can see water's dripping out from there, so it's no problem. Okay, so I can now connect so that it flows in this direction here. Now we need a connector, right? So as I pointed out,
doesn't matter of any side.
it does. You should always run a column in the same direction.
Oh, okay.
So there are different types of connectors which I need to make you aware of, Thomas. You see that one? It's got a wide end and a narrow end. This is two narrow ends.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
So this one is for connecting to this type of connector. The flat ones. Okay?
Okay.
This other one has a ferrule system, which you can see
Is
here.
that the narrow end or
It's,
that's the...
it's got a tapered end. So, first of all, connect that. Finger tight, that's all. And then this. The back pressure is going up as we're pumping, and now I'm just waiting to see that liquid will come out of here, which it is. See, water's coming out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I connect this one. Oh, yes. So this is the inlet here, and this is the outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, inlet outlet, it's quite clear.
Yeah.
So putting it this way up, buffer's flowing in through the top, through the column, out at the bottom of the column, into the detector, out from the detector, and then here. And it's running there too. Okay, everything's good. So I can now just put that on there like that. Great. This. Okay. So this here, we need to just check that the valve is working okay, because if that's blocked, we can't load anything. So to do that, what I do, and I showed you this yesterday, Alansary.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the exhaust from there, and you see if I use this just to push water through, can you see the water coming out the back there?
Yeah.
So that's fine. What it's doing is just washing. There's a guide in here which takes this long needle, okay, which goes into an injector port.
If you set it to load, then it can then it loads actual
In the load
stuff.
position, the stuff goes in, and that's what you're going to have to do with your 5 mils of stuff, right? And then when it goes down, it's going to load that sample. So there's 5 mils of loop here, and when you're running your gradients,
Mm-hmm.
once you've got your sample loaded, I take this out so that you don't have to go through all the loop before the gradient starts to go on the column. Otherwise you've got a delay. Yeah, you following me,
Okay.
the reasoning behind that? And then
Just go straight. You inject the sample when it's in this position.
Load.
inject
Load.
the sample in that position, in the load position.
Okay.
Then I inject it. Then I wait for time. So if it's a
5
mil a
mils or
minute,
so,
it's
for
at
it,
least 6 minutes I wait. If it's 2 mils a minute, it's 2.5 minutes, a bit more,
Okay.
just to load the sample. Okay? Once it's gone on, I then take that out and isolate that.
Okay.
So then,
Okay. Yeah.
and we'll do that today. Okay, so water's running through.
I didn't do that yesterday. I mean, injected.
No, because yours is just 1/2 mil.
Yeah, yeah,
So and you're not running a gradient.
yeah.
It's just one buffer, so
That's
it doesn't
alright.
matter.
Okay, that's the difference. Yeah.
So now everything is running there. You can see the back pressure, even with just water, is 12 bar at 1 mil a minute. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is change the buffer on this so that we start pumping the urea through here. To do that, first of all, I'll bring this down to 0. So the pressure starts to come down, and then I open this valve here. Now this valve directs the buffer down this tube here, so that now it's not flowing over the column. And you can see that the gauge is not quite right because it says the back pressure is 7 bar. Buffer A goes in here.
Urea.
And your buffer B is that one, right?
Are they marked in any way to distinguish them?
Right. Good question, Thomas.
Right. So that's not buffer B. That's just.
Oh, it isn't. No, where's your buffer B?
This one.
They don't really screw on, but it just. Okay.
Okay.
So this at the present is running buffer C. So will you, Thomas, now change it to buffer A? Okay. Excellent. So you hear the switch, and always use your senses to see that it's doing the right thing. Okay. So that's a low speed. So now I want you to increase the flow rate. Press manual set. Enter. Here it's asking, do you want to change the parameter? Yes, you do. Press enter. Press enter because you don't want to change buffer B. You don't want to change it there. So put 1 mil in. 1 mil, enter. Don't need to go. Hey, hear it?
Ah.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it changes this note. You can hear that it's doing it. Press escape and then you get back to the manual front page. Okay, good. Here we've got a purge function which will now pump at 10 mils a minute. And it's going through here. So press the purge function, please. Here.
Yeah.
And you can check. It's coming out here. Okay?
This like rapidly.
Really rapid.
Pushes.
So you're just washing the stuff through. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now press buffer B. It's switched. So now you're charging the whole system with buffer B, which is the 1 molar salt.
Okay.
So you're rinsing out from here, through the line, down here, through the pump and everything, okay?
Switch to C.
No, we don't want
Okay.
C because it's water.
Okay.
Just at
Okay.
the
What
moment.
we're supposed to be.
Yeah. So press buffer A, just to get it back to A. So you see we did it for about 15 seconds, 10 mils a minute, that's a lot of buffer gone through. Okay. Good enough. Hit the purge button again, and that turns it off. Now we can close that valve.
We're doing it the right way.
Yep. Watch the buffer. Watch the pressure. It's okay. You can see it will begin to start to rise.
Yep.
So we're in a hurry today. So I want you now to increase the flow rate to 2 mils a minute.
Enter. Enter.
Oh, no.
Escape. Start again. Manual. Enter. Enter. That's it. Now change that to 2. Enter.
Escape.
Escape. So now it's back. And you can see the back pressure is increased.
Okay.
Okay. So now, always make sure it's actually coming out here and not going somewhere else. Because this is urea, it will mark everything. Leave a crust. So now all we do is just wait for that to stabilise. So it's going to take about 300-400 mils of buffer to pump through there before we can load. 2 mils a minute, 120 mils an hour. Okay. So 2 hours is 240. 2.5 hours is going to be around about 300 mils. 2.5 hours from now is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So when we've done that, we have to then collect some of this buffer out of here, take some of your buffer A and check that everything is the same. The pH is the same and the millivolts are the same before we load the sample. Okay. Yeah, right. From Alansary you need to get a rack
Yeah. I'm cleaning the old rock now.
and load the tubes ready so that you can do the stuff there. And Alansary, your stuff's around
Yeah,
here.
I noticed.
We've
Thank
got to
you.
Start doing stuff here,
Okay.
like getting it clean, the same as this.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to do now. We've put the column on. We're just now washing it, getting it ready, so that we can load your sample. But your sample, you've now got to get a move on to get your sample ready.